All right, Thursday, October 10th, 2019, 10:10, day trading recap. So I had a bad trade this morning, very upset about it, and it was, I'll show you that, and then I had one trade that made up for it, so I'm very happy about that, and I'll show you the first one. So PCG has been having lots of trouble because of those fires out in California, so there's all sorts of lawsuits. So the stock has been tanking. You can see on this weekly chart, it's been dropping a lot. I think here was about when that first started becoming a problem, I guess, or I'm not sure if this is when the fires were back in October of last year, or this is when they recognized that it was caused by the company, but you can see it's been moving down. So I took a look at it as a short, and it popped up in my pre-market gapper scan. I think it was gap. Yeah, definitely gap down today. So I was taking a look at it to see if possibly I could short it even more. This is my gappers down 3.5% or up 3.5%, and PCG right there. You can see I took a look at it. Had a big topping tail for the first 5-minute candle, and it started moving sideways. And I've made a bunch of videos on this. When it starts to catch up to the 8 MA and the 20 SMA. A lot of times it'll use that as resistance and it'll continue down lower. Now this pattern is not very smooth, so it doesn't always have to be. Sometimes I've had stocks do this very same thing and then they continue lower. But of course I got in right here at what was my short? 765 as a short, and that ended up being a pivot point where it started moving back up. And I got stopped out. I got stopped out at 777. I think a 12-cent stop. So once it broke above these two moving averages, as I said, I'm out when I got out. And then you can see it skyrocketed up a little here, and I could have reversed my position. That probably might have been the right move right there at 776. Could have taken a 20-something cent gain on that. Now it looks like it might recover, but I don't know. It was what I wasn't looking at, and I think this is why I made a mistake on this one, was if you look at the, I'll just get rid of these lines, these target areas. This is the pre-market here, and it's all over the place. So that's a lot of resistance already in place from just the pre-market that could cause problems. So when I tried to short here, look at all this action right here before the opening bell, and then it shot up. It had to get through a lot of this stuff to be able to move down. If the pre-market was a steady down, and then it was here with little resistance from at least the pre-market and the nearby resistance, that probably would have been a better trade, but it was just stupid because it was so whippy. So, I mean, it happens. I made a bad trade, and I had to move on. But yeah, so I was a little bit more selective as the day went on, and I noticed that around, I think it was like almost by noon, it was before noon, it was like 11:30, that the market started to kind of trend down a little. If you look at the SPY, yeah, right here it topped off, and then you can see it start moving down, and then right here at 12:05 it moved down. So I noticed that, and I said, okay, even if I don't find an alpha stock that's moving on its own, it could help. Or even if I do find an alpha stock that's moving on its own, it could help to take a short. So in my no gappers list, I'm not sure if it was popping in and out of this. This is a top list, so I saw AVYA, and I don't think it's in there any longer. It must not have the relative volume available right now for that. But this is where it popped up, this AVYA. And it was, you could see on the daily candle chart, you can see it gapped up last week, had a big up day, and then it hit its head on the 200 moving average, right? And then the last couple days it's been down. So again, it was the no gappers list, so it opened basically where it closed yesterday. So I was looking for some more continuation down, or actually up. If it was a 2-bar pullback and then it moved back up, I would have looked to go long, but it wasn't doing that. So I looked at the chart, and I saw, yeah, it was breaking through the 8 and the 20 SMA. And when you look at the VWAP, it broke down, tried to regain VWAP here, but failed. And that told me something, that it wasn't going to, as much as it was trying to get through VWAP, it couldn't. And yesterday's close was right here at 1283, and it failed that. So it failed VWAP, failed yesterday's close, and it was moving down. So I watched it consolidate here, moving right along with this 8 and this 8 EMA, right, using that as resistance. Big topping tail right here, and then an indecision doji on the next candle, and a big red drop, and that's what got me in. So I took a short at 12, what was it, 1261, I believe. Was it 1261? Yeah, it was somewhere between 1216 and 1261 percentage-wise. So I took the short there, started moving down after a couple candles, and then once it got close to my target, which was around 1240, I think that's where I wanted to get in. Wanted to get in around 1240, or get out at 1240 if I could. And I partialed out right here at 1246, partialed a little bit more at 1242, and then got out the remaining at 1240, which was my first target. So I took a little bit out before I got to my target, just because you see how it started to separate a little bit from that 8 EMA. Maybe a little nervous that it was going to whip back up. And you could see it kind of did that a few bars after I got out. But these are all my shares. I got out in three steps, real close together. Within 10 minutes of within a span of 10 minutes, I got all my shares out. So that worked out well, and it helped that the SPY was actually moving down at that time. You can see I liked that it was below this 10 EMA on the 15-minute chart. That's always something I look at. That can be a very important moving average, and it's more important. These moving averages mean more on the higher time frames. So the 15, it was below it. I think on the 30, it was below it. Yeah, it was below it when I got in. And see this big drop here. That was big. So a good trade, helped me out, got out of it. Also because I just did a video yesterday about missing QGEN. I missed it again. I wanted to get in here, and one of the reasons I wanted to get in was because it was on my pre-market scan. And I think it's on my no gappers, or because I don't think it had a big gap today. It was in a pre-market scan, and I was basically aware of it just from yesterday, from missing out on its move yesterday, which had a nice move here, and I wanted to get in here, and I just didn't pull the trigger, and then it moved up almost 70 cents. So that kind of took me off. So I put a little error here. I was thinking of getting in here, and it actually showed up on my watch list from the Trade Ideas trading room, Barry's watch list. Was the first alert at 9:41, and so it popped up on a number of my alert watch lists, both that watch list and as well as my pre-market watch list. And I just couldn't pull the trigger. At 27.09, it was above a whole number, but if I had gotten in there, I would have ridden it all the way up, probably 27.43. Look at that separation from the 8. Probably would have gotten out a little bit here, and then probably all of it as it kind of descended. Then you can see here it's bouncing off VWAP, and now it might start going back up again. But I missed that, and it was the second day in a row that I just couldn't pull the trigger on QGEN. Oh, that's right. It showed up in my. This is where it really alerted me to it. Was my VWAP 200 moving average wedge scan, which I refer to sometimes. I've refined it now to where it's just basically looking. It's only giving me like at most 10 to 12 alerts a day. Sometimes I don't get any, but right now there's only 2 today, and QGEN was the first one at 10 o'clock. So the fact that it showed me there, and then it also was in Barry's watch list, I should have just said, that's enough confirmation for me to get in, but it wasn't. I didn't pull the trigger. I had cold feet, and I missed out on that move. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, this I've been refining this over and over throughout the year. It's done pretty well for me. This other doesn't always give you good trades. You have to look at the chart, and really judge it by the chart. Because look at SPWR. This would be one. 10:57 was the alert, so it was basically right about here that was alerting me to it. And I think the alert came at 9:96, but it's so ugly here, I would not have taken it. Unlike QGEN, which is a little nice and smoother, following that 8 EMA up, but I missed out on it. But luckily enough, even though I made a bad trade with PCG earlier, made a nice little short here with AVYA. And that made my day. So that's it for today. Hopefully I'll be back on Friday. I think Friday's going to be a shorter day for me. I have something to do in the afternoon, so I'm going to try and do early day trading. Maybe do some day trading in the pre-market if there's anything worth trading, and then be done with it, which would be nice to be done before the market opens. So good luck, and see you next time.